Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. And be comfortable yourself and relax your body. So once we get connected with our other students, we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. And keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we try to share some basic informations with you to have a very clear understanding regarding the very foundation of mind, and at the same time giving a clear understanding regarding the life and how this life happens, and then developing the path yourself to gain the liberation. So for that, today we are going to little bit look into deeper and see how this life happens. Because from the ancient time, people had this question, who we are and how this life happens. And what is the very meaning of life? What is the purpose of life? Because of that, we came to many ideas, theories, teachings. And when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, so according to the Buddha's teaching, how we understand this? So basically, we have to understand what we are is a result of cause and effect, arising and changing. That is the very foundation of this all. And this mechanism, this existence we call the samsara. When it comes to the samsara, it is not only the human being here. And there are more higher existence and the lower level of existence. So the higher level of existence means they are more higher than the human beings, which we call the devas or the deities. Why they are higher in a certain way? Because they sometimes not depend on the sensory perception. They don't depend on feelings like us. And their consciousness is more capable to have the direct perception. And at the same time, there are lower level of existence. That means they are lower than the human beings, like animals. So somehow it doesn't matter the lower level of existence or the higher level of existence or even the human existence. This all change. That is the bottom line. So when it comes to this samsara, one of the major important place that you can have is the human life, because that is where you can basically understand this change. Even though that there are living beings that are related to high existence, sometimes they can't understand this change. The lower level, they can't understand the change. So that's why it doesn't matter what is the condition of, what is the nature of the existence or the samsara or the where we going to born again, that all going to change. So then going to more higher level or even becoming a deity or the deva or the any place wherever we look for existence, it's not going to be forever. For a certain time period, it's going to be okay. Why this change? Because everything depends on the cause and effect. There is no place in this universe which can exist independently itself without depending from something. So basically this everything related to heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. And when it comes to our human life, if you look very carefully, from where this start, and when it comes to the human world, the change has the nature is kind of like birth, decay, death. It's common to all these human beings. And it's common to all the living beings. Birth, decay, death. There is no living beings not related to these three things. Whoever, wherever, maybe the time line is going to be different. But somehow they all going to experience the birth, decay, death. So that is the very condition of the samsara, existence. So then our purpose is here, find a way to get out of this, how to stop this. That stopping this we call the Nibbana, get out of this circle. And for that you have to look how this happens, how the death happens. Death happens because of the decay. Why the decay and the death happens? Because of the birth. So then, why the birth happens? What is the cause for the birth? It's not happened by mistake. It not happened just, your birth didn't happen only for this time. There is a reason behind that. So you had a previous life. That's why you born here. Your death didn't happen as an isolated, independent incident. And then why the birth happened? Because of karmic action. In the previous lives, whatever the karma we have done, once we die, that karma not going to vanish, because according to that karma, we going to have a birth. It can be the human world or the lower existence or the high existence. And why the karma happens? What is the reason for that karma? What is the cause for the karma? So then in day-to-day life, we can understand during our nowadays that what we do. So according to our day-to-day activities, we every day create certain kind of karma. And that happened because of volitional activities. Volitions or the mental formations. And why the volitional activities happens? Grasping or clinging. That is the cause. Or the attachment. If there is no attachment, there is no volitional activities. So then why that attachment happens? Desire in mind. So why the desire come to our mind? What is the cause for the desire? Feelings. Pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, neutral feelings. If you don't have these all three, there is no desire. There is no desire going to arise beyond the feelings. So because of we have three kind of feelings: pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, neutral feelings. Because of that, the desire arises in our mind. Because of the desire, we have the grasping or the clinging or the attachment. Because of the attachment, it creates our mind, bodily, verbally, mentally, the volitional activities. The volitional activities bring the karma. Karma is the main cause to bring us another life. So that's how it's go back. So then the feelings. Why the feelings happens? Feelings happens when the contacts happens with our sensory object, with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. for the eye, there should be an eye object. For the ear, there should be an ear object. For the nose, there should be a nose object. For the tongue, there should be a tongue object. For the body, there should be a body object. For the mind, there should be a mind object. So without object, there's no feelings. So even the object are there. Why the contacts basically happen? The very cause for the contacts, object is the reason to feelings, but to contact, another thing is our sensory organs. If you don't have an eye, you're not going to have, even the object are there, you're not going to have feelings with the eye. Even though the object are there, sound are there, if you don't have the ear, you can't hear. If you don't have the nose, you're not going to get the smell. So then, our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, organs arise because we have this body and mind. When you come to the mother's womb, in the human existence, we all start to build up this body and mind according to certain level. Look at everybody in the human world related to this category, to have eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So it happened according to necessary karmic result. It is not happened by choice, or it not happened because of somebody interfere and make a decision or create these things. So having the body and mind is the result of the cause of the rebirth consciousness. You gain human body, the consciousness keep looking for a place. Your consciousness deeply wired, not this eye, not this ear, not this nose, not this tongue, not this body. There is a conscious mechanism, develop a model to this human body. So that is where the rebirth consciousness bring you this human body. If you don't have the rebirth consciousness to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, then it's not going to happen. So the rebirth consciousness again happens because of volitional activities in the previous lives. So this is the reverse mechanism. And then why this volitional activities happens in us? So finally, the bottom line, because of the ignorance. Ignorance, it's kind of not knowing the reasons. So there are two kinds of ignorance. So one is ignorance of non-practice. Other one is ignorance of delusion. So what is the ignorance of non-practice? So you have the mind and you have the consciousness, you have the awareness. When it comes to human life, as a bonus result, you gain. This is the power of the human world. It doesn't matter whatever the karma that you have, when you come to the human world, the very first thing that you have the awareness. It's a kind of like from this world, human world, it give you kind of like a welcome gift. You gain even you have the rebirth consciousness, your awareness is a human condition. Try to understand it very clearly. You don't bring your awareness from your previous lives. You bring the karma to have a human body. Because the awareness is not related to your previous karma or anything. It related to this human world. And ignorance means what? You come to this human world and you have the key to unlock all the possibilities in the human world using your awareness. But if you don't use your awareness, that is ignorance. Another way, if you don't become mindful, because mindfulness is kind of like a necessary part of the human world, being mindful. Not in the higher level of existence or not in the lower level of existence. In the human existence, the mindfulness is very necessary. It's like before you drive a car, before you take it to the public roads, you have to have insurance. You have to have the right conditions like a smoke check. It should be comfortable for you and for others, not to make any disturb. So like that mindfulness, when your consciousness come to human world, you gain mindfulness from this human existence. So for your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, it is your body that you bringing as a result of from your previous life. But now from here, once you enter to human world, from the human world, it give you mindfulness. You can't bring the mindfulness from previous lives, no. So that's why mindfulness you have to develop by practicing. It's not going to, your mindfulness never going to happen because of karmic result. Remember that. So whatever the karmic result you bring here, now you have a choice in the human world to use your mindfulness. If you use your mindfulness, you can illuminate your karmic result for a certain level. So that's why you can't blame to anybody. Once you become a human being, you can't blame to your karma. You can't depend on your previous lives. You can't depend on others or the creators or anything, any supernatural powers. If you become mindful, you can fix your problems in your life. That is the kind of like a super power that you have. But most of the time we don't use it. It is ignorance. So don't blame to anybody. If you get into a trouble, if you have any difficulties in your life, look into yourself and see why you have it. Because of a certain level, of ignorance that you didn't use your mindfulness, and then you into trouble. So most of time people blame to their own previous karma, and maybe they blame to other people. No, you are not mindful. That is the reason. So then be mindful. So that's why when it comes to meditation, to be mindful, you have to practice it, because it's not going to happen naturally. Because you didn't bring it. Even though you have many other habitual patterns, remember, if you have a habitual pattern you brought from the samsara, it related to your consciousness, then you don't need mindfulness, because it is a gift you brought from your previous lives. But the mindfulness is not belong to your previous lives. It's belong to this human category. So once you come to this human world, in the previous lives, the whatever you have done, it's not going to help for you to be mindful here. It is a very brand new level of skill. Maybe you have many other skills, but being mindful is a brand new skill, and you didn't bring it from the previous lives. Also remember, you can't take it to your next life. It doesn't matter wherever you go. Maybe you go to high existence or low existence, or even you become a human being. You cannot bring your mindfulness. Then you have to start again. Some other different karmic result or the benefits you can gain, but mindfulness you have to practice. Understand this very carefully, because once you understand that, that is the only thing that help for you to get out of this all. It's not the karma. Remember that. Not the timing. Not any other. The things around you. Not even your generous heart. Not your good practice. Not your compassion. Not your other skills that you develop to use your hands, use your legs, physical activities, that anything not going to help you to get out of the samsara. That all will help you to get into, keep going in the samsara. The only tool that you can use, the only key that you can use to get out of the samsara is mindfulness. That is why it is important. Not just in day-to-day life to have a very comfortable, safe life. No, that's why the human life is very important. Getting to human life. Even because even some higher existence, they cannot develop the mindfulness. They have very set up level of mind, can experience things, they cannot develop the mind. They cannot cultivate the awareness, but only the human world has ability to cultivate this awareness, develop this mindfulness. So then look into yourself and see, Are you depending on your previous karma? Are you counting on karmas? Or are you counting on some other facilities that around you? Because according to the country, nation, and the law and human rights, traditions, there are certain ways that give us a protection. You can protect yourself from that things. You can survive here. Even you are not mindful. But to get out of the samsara, you have only one way. That's developing mindfulness. So if you don't use it, it is ignorance. You come to human world, it's kind of like, just imagine, you have a car. So having a car is a privilege for you to drive. But if you don't drive, just imagine, what's the point having the car? You have a car, you have the license, you know how to drive, you have money for gas, but still without driving, you walk not for a kind of like a neighborhood. You walk for a long distance to go to another place. You take a public transport and you become late to go to here and there without using that vehicle. So that is ignorance. And at the same time, just imagine, you have medicine to cure certain disease. And you know, if you use that medicine, you can cure that. But without using it, you keep suffering. That is ignorance. You are hungry, you have food to eat, and you don't eat, and you are suffering, hungry, and you are blaming to it, and you are struggling. If you are fasting for a reason, it is okay. But you have the food, you have the food, you know how to eat it, and you feel hungry, and you don't eat, and you blaming to other people, you blaming to the government, you blame to your parents, you blame to your ancestors, you blame to society, you blame to your culture without eating. That's ignorance. So same like when it comes to our human world. As human beings, without using mindfulness, we blame to everything. Just imagine then, if you become mindful, that is the only thing that you have to use here. Maybe most of other things already you have, like good karma, that's why you are in the human world. If you have the very bad karma, you're not going to come here. You go to somewhere else. There are many other horrible existence. Look at the animal world without becoming an animal. Why we became humans? Because we have done good karma. So then don't worry about the karma. As a human being, use your mindfulness. Try to develop it. Get into the highest level of your mindfulness. Don't worry about other anything. You don't need to depend on the karma, or you don't need to depend on your luck. That all here. Because if we don't have the luck, how are we going to have these eyes, ears, nose, body, mind like this? We are so lucky so far. So then don't worry about life. To have a more better choice for tomorrow. Think about yourself. If you have a bad luck, you're not going to hear this. Because then there are many ways that you are already out of the game. So you have good karma. So only thing is, difficulties come not because really we have bad karma. If you look very carefully, karma is after we born here, karma is not playing the major role. It play certain level, it affect for us for a certain level, but mindfulness is the major part when it comes to human world. So try to use it. Use it to the highest, to the maximum level. Why? Because you can't take it. How much you use here, that much, then you can get the benefit, and that will help you to jump to the higher level, or maybe if you use to the right way, then you can completely get out of this samsara. Another thing is the ignorance of not practicing, non-practice. Another way, when you are not mindful, how it take you to the samsara? Because then you don't see the change. When you are not mindful, you don't see the change. If you don't see the change, you start to claim everything maybe as I am. I experience this belongs to me. That leads us to again hold things. And that is the ignorance of non-practice. So you can cut it down if you start to practice. What is practice mean? Mindfulness. Once you become mindful, develop the clarity and start to see the deep, basically the change. And you are not going to get tangled with any situation once you become mindful. And ignorance of delusion is what? Ignorance of delusion means we take suffering as happiness. It's suffering, but we see it like happiness. No one can help you because it is our conscious decision. And it happened because of our mental formations. You don't see exactly what is there. You go with your emotions, or you go with the habitual patterns and repeat that. And so because of that, you don't see the suffering as suffering. You start to see suffering as happiness. Most of the things that you claim as happiness in your life related to habits. Just look around you. You used to keep repeat. In a certain level, you get used to it. Now, that repetition, it make you kind of like a feel high. It make you kind of like a feel good. And you addicted to that feelings. That is what happens. It's suffering, but now you can't see it. Because once you take the darkness as light, how you can recognize the the light, how you can get out of the darkness. Once you believe the suffering as the happiness, how other people can help you. That's why. And unsatisfactory nature, you take as the satisfaction. So it always develop the unsatisfaction, but you don't see it. That again lead you to the same route to have idea of self. So that's why ignorance, these two branches of ignorance, interdepending and empower each other. Non-practice and delusion. So try to understand yourself. Don't blame to anybody. This all happened because of your own decisions. So to get out of this, once you understand, if you reverse that, so that is why we are here. Why we are here? We are here because of the birth. Because of the birth, we have the decay. Getting old. You are getting old, and then as a result of that, you're going to die. So stopping death is the key. If we don't die, why we have to do anything? We don't need to anything. You can do whatever you want. If you don't die. Sleep when you want to sleep. If you want to eat, you can eat. And whatever you want to do, you can go and rob a bank and get whatever the money you want and do whatever you want if you don't die. But the key problem is we die. And we try to get out of the death, or maybe why we try to practice our moral behavior, because after we die, we don't want to go to a suffering, or we don't want to go to hell, or we don't want to go to a lower existence. Why we do most of the good things? Because to accumulate good karma. Why you need good karma? Because we have tomorrow. And the tomorrow means maybe tonight I die, and then the tomorrow means for me, what? Another life. For tomorrow means for you, maybe not the sunrise in this earth, maybe another planet, another place. So we don't know. So that's why we basically practice moral behavior. So then to get out of this, go back, reverse the pattern and see the very depth and find the key. So you want to stop the death. To stop the death, you have to stop decay. But if anybody born here, there is no way you can stop decay and death. There are a lot of scientists, there are a lot of people mesmerized with this many gadgetics and try to do things to stop this. It's not going to happen. Why? Because life is not a kind of like independent, separated, isolated incident. Life is the very byproduct of this, all the change, cause and effect from everything around us. So then you have to stop the birth. So rather than looking how to stop the death, if the scientists start to look how to stop the birth, and they're going to get a good result, or maybe they find a more better way. Another thing is, the very bottom line of to be immortal is very wrong. That is the empowering the existence. Why there are some very famous, very rich people, and they talk about to be immortal, to be here forever. If you listen to them and see why they want to be here for, to enjoy all the time, how to have the pleasure. See, that it based with the desire. I am. The very wrong idea. That itself bound to the illusion. So then what you need to do, you have to understand why you born here. Reverse the pattern and understand, start from the bottom line. So you born here because of the karmic action. And the karmic action happened because of volitional activities. The volitional activities happen because of the grasping or clinging or the attachment in our mind. So the attachment happened because of the desire in the mind. The desire happened because of the feelings, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral feelings. The feelings arise because of the contact. Contact happened because of the sense object, and we have the sensory organs. So why you have the sensory organs? Because that is the condition of the human body. So why you get this human body and mind? Because of the rebirth consciousness. So why you have the rebirth consciousness come to here, human world, rather than going to high existence or the lower level of existence? Because again, volitional activities related to your past lives and giving the right place to be here. So then why you have this volitional activities? Volitional activities means what? When you experience something with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, rather than having the direct perception, you use your mind or the memory, your previous habitual patterns, or your sanskara or your kankas, and you manipulate what you experience. You manipulate the reality and you convert it to the way you want. That is what volitional activity. And that is why we do it, because the idea of I am. I experience. This is me. This is my eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. This is me. This is my wife. This is my husband. This is my children. This is my house. This is my family. This is my partners. This is my friends. This is my family members. This is my village. This is my school. This is my state. This is my country. This is my world. Oh, everything related to me, me mantra. So why you have this? Because ignorance. Why you have the ignorance? Because you don't practice mindfulness. If you practice mindfulness, what happens? You see the change. You don't take suffering as happiness. That is where you don't develop anything as I am. And once you get out of that, once you develop the mindfulness, you start to see things as it is. Whatever come to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, you experience that as it is. You don't develop any kind of volitional activities. Out of your body, mind, physical, mental, verbal actions, there is no volitional activities. You tune to the reality, you go with the according to necessary cause and conditions in that environment. Because of that, in the very moment when you experience the reality, there is no rebirth consciousness. So as example, the most of things we do, thinking about our tomorrow, why I eat maybe, oh, I want to be healthy, not to cure the hunger. In the very moment, I want to be healthy. See, that's the rebirth consciousness itself. And sometimes you want to get married. Why you want to get married? I want to have a child. So that is the rebirth consciousness. Your marriage is not related to the in that very moment. It has a link to create the future. So that is a rebirth consciousness. And you maybe do exercise. Why you want to do exercise? Because I want to be healthy. See, that itself. And maybe you drink water. And why you drink water? Oh, I want to escape from some kind of health problem. I want to be healthy. See, if you are thirsty, you drink. Why you think about the future? Thinking about future when you do something in the moment, that itself you are into samsara. So then look whatever you do. Then maybe you thinking about meditation, practice meditation, and you sit and you close your eyes, but deeper there is a voice. Oh, I want to attain to liberation. That also belongs to the samsara because you want, you're trying to. So like that, this rebirth consciousness, these volitional activities create this rebirth consciousness. So then whatever you see with your, so the rebirth consciousness having give you body and mind. Then just imagine, you want to have a good life. You go to a school, you study. Why? You're dreaming to have a good life. What is good life means? Having eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So that is where you get, just imagine you reading, you learning, or you doing some work, thinking about having a good life. Maybe you driving, thinking about go to another place or go for a vacation. So thinking about having a nice vacation means what? You experience eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, object. So then while you're driving, you meet the accident and you die. So you die with rebirth consciousness. Because you are not, if you die in the moment, being conscious and you become mindful related to the in the moment without thinking about a vacation, you just stay in the moment and go according to necessary cause and conditions in that environment. And if you die there, then there is no rebirth consciousness. You're not going to appear anywhere anymore. So to get into that level, you have to practice the mindfulness. But our mind always jump ahead. That is the nature of the samsara. So anywhere with anything you die, just imagine you go to sleep, you have plans to next year, 20 years ahead. You have many future plans to maybe 50 years ahead. So even you suddenly die, your rebirth consciousness already there. I want to be like this. So you already have in your consciousness, your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that names and forms. So then just think, yourself. How you can get out of this? Because already your mind developed this in you. And even this body disappear, the consciousness itself, according to the karmic result, come back. So then get out of this rebirth consciousness. To get out of the rebirth consciousness, you have to be mindful. Rather than thinking about future, to work according to the necessary cause and conditions in that environment, you have to be mindful. Otherwise, just a habitual pattern, this is not going to happen, as I mentioned from the beginning. So then you have to practice to be mindful. You have to break down the current that keep thinking about the past, because this habitual pattern thinking about the past can come from the previous lives, repetition. But mindfulness, you have to practice. Once you practice the mindfulness, you get out of the rebirth consciousness. Once you get out of the rebirth consciousness, when you die with that, you don't going to get a body and mind. Once you don't have the body and mind, no sensory organs. When you don't have the sensory organs, no sensory object. You can't experience the sensory object. When there is no sensory object or the sensory organs, no feelings. When there is no feelings, no desire in the mind. When there is no desire, no grasping. There is no mind to grasp. When there is no grasping happens, no volitional activities again, and no karmic result. So reverse that and see, this all come in this very moment. We already have the attachment. And that attachment we hold because of the ignorance. What is the ignorance means? We are not mindful. So then, as a human being, use your mind. Don't afraid for anything. Develop your mind. Be mindful. You can fix any problem in this human world related to your life. And the most difficult problem that we have, the death and the birth. So this karma already we have, we're going to die. But still, you have a chance not to born again. So remember, if you become mindful, you can use that chance. You can get it. In the human world, you have that opportunity to practice mindfulness. And if you use it in the right way, you can claim that gift, not to born again. So that is why you have to practice every day, little by little, little by little, little by little. Be mindful with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. And for that, not only practicing meditation, start to listen to the Dhamma. Be aware. Look at the world around you. Listen to elders. Listen to wise people. Read books. Gain the knowledge. Understand the very nature of life. Listen to the Buddha's teaching. Spend little bit time, little by little, build up that skill. Once you become mindful, and anymore, you don't need the karma or any other things to survive. So with that, today we already spent much time. So with that, we're going to stop here, and you can practice yourself. And so we're going to end the session today, because this is a very long the discussion. This is a very long topic, that the understanding the cause and effect, because this is not a magic. But once you understand this, because this is the very foundation of the Buddha's teaching. So once you understand this, to get the key. So use many other methods and listen to this dependent origination, and try to be educate yourself and understand this very key point. And then you can get more and more wisdom related to this. So with that, we bless upon. May all the guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Also, by the power of this practice, may all of you stay healthy and safe. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Please say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.